The definition of fear online is an unpleasant emotional caused by belief that someone or something is in danger, likely to cause pain or threat. But that's not what fear means to me. Fear to me is an environment or an object that scares you, and you have to learn how to deal with it in order to grow and survive. Fear is a really scary thing. Most people have them, but some people don't. At least they don't admit it. I always wondered what people thought about fear. To me, fear is a virtual response to physical and emotional dangers. If we didn't feel it, we wouldn't be able to deal with real threats that we think we have. What are you most afraid of?
I don't know.
Really don't know.
What am I afraid of? It's a hard question.
I interviewed 50 people and I asked them what their biggest fear was.
I'm afraid of the unknown.
I'm most afraid of being homeless.
I'm afraid of not being good enough.
I'm afraid of death.
I'm afraid of death.
I'm afraid of burning to death.
I'm afraid of being buried alive.
I'm afraid of kidnappers.
I'm afraid of failure.
My biggest fear is failure.
I'm afraid of failure.
I'm afraid of the dark.
I'm afraid of the dark because I don't want to get murdered.
I'm afraid of the ocean in the dark.
I'm afraid of the ocean. I'm deathly afraid of sharks, more specifically.
I'm most afraid of getting lost and not being able to find my family or friends.
My biggest fear is being alone.
My biggest fear is losing my family.
I'm scared of the people I love dying before me.
I'm afraid of rejection.
Fears come in many different forms.
I'm afraid of ketchup.
Ketchup.
Cottage cheese.
I think onto the highway and you're merging lanes and like the lane on the highway and the merging lane look like they're gonna collide into one, but then you realize they're separate lanes, but for that split second you wonder what'll happen if they crash.
Monsters under my bed.
Diet Coke.
Being down a hallway of a hotel and you feel like someone's like following you and you keep like looking back and you're like, someone's following me, but there's no one there.
Supernatural beings.
My fear is pigeons because I think they're like dirty and they fly in your face and they're like not scared of people.
I'm afraid of pigeons, so I really have to cross the street so I can avoid the pigeons.
Throw up, like I'm definitely scared of it. I've never thrown up myself and I can't be near anyone who's like about to throw up, feels like they're gonna throw up, and throwing up, anything like that.
Force-fed peanut butter. Ladybugs. Try to avoid them at all costs.
Spaghetti gives me stress, but I just try to not eat it.
Haircuts. Elevators.
I'm afraid of oranges because I hate when the juice comes out.
I'm afraid of hummus.
I'm afraid of getting pulled over. I'm afraid of Chex Mix.
My biggest fear is when I'm eating soup and I take my spoon and I like let it go in the bowl and the spoon handle like falls beneath the soup liquid surface and then I have to take my spoon out of the hot liquid and it's just all wet and it's a very gross occasion.
I'm afraid of heights.
I'm afraid of heights. I have a fear of tornadoes. My biggest fear are hurricanes.
I have trypophobia.
My biggest fear is breaking a bone.
I'm scared of spiders.
I'm afraid of spiders.
As you can see through the video, fears come in many forms. They can be funny or serious, but all fears should not be taken lightly. As I interviewed a lot of people, I started to realize I had a lot more fears than I expected. I have a severe fear of public water fountains. The fact that anybody can use them and that they're public and they could put their mouth on it, I'd rather drink from a lake at that point. On a more serious note, I'm deathly afraid that my parents will die before me. I really just can't live without them. They do everything for me and I need them in my life. Everybody should try and get over their fear at some point. Whether it's a small step or a huge leap, you should never let anything hold you back.